It's the beginning of August and been doing some picking in the garden. We have some nice fresh tomatoes that we're going to work with here, and we're going to jar them. We have to first blanch them so we can peel the skins off, and then we're going to clean them. We're going to cut them up, take the seeds out, and then we're going to walk through the process of getting them in jars so we can make sauce with them later. Okay, I just realized I should take you out to the garden where I got these tomatoes from. Pretty happy garden this year. And you will notice that some of these tomatoes that I'm using are actually yellow. Doesn't mean they're not ripe, but they're actually supposed to be yellow. It's a certain type of tomato here. See if I can get a picture of it. Here it is. It's called a lemon boy. They're quite tasty. They taste just like regular tomatoes, but they kind of trick your mind a little bit because they're yellow. And then this is here, the bigger ones that we have. They're called Better Boy. I think we have one more type here. Let's see. I'm gonna have to check. Yeah, these here. Yeah, these are all Better Boys. That's the type of tomato. They all are. Okay, so that's the garden. And then I'm quite happy about these peppers. Coming out nicely. Green peppers ready to go. Got some red ones in here. Yeah. They're looking nice. Okay, back to working on the tomatoes. Alright, these are the tomatoes I'm going to be working with. Not sure how much that's going to make. We'll find out. Maybe, thinking maybe 2 quarts. We'll see. Okay, so over here we have some water boiling, because what we're going to do is we're going to peel these tomatoes before we puree them. And over here we have a bowl of cold water that we're going to cook them the tomatoes in the boiling water for about 30 seconds. Take them out, put them in the cold water, and then we'll peel them. And then here we have the jars, a little cage that goes into the pan when we're going to the process of jarring it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take these tomatoes. I'm going to put a little cut here in the bottom of each one, and then we're going to throw them in there and start peeling them. We'll be back. Putting a cross in the bottom of each tomato like that. Okay, so I have these clean. We've got little slits on there. You don't have to cut too deep. You just want to score the top so you can peel these after they've been sitting in the water. Still waiting for the water to boil. And we got that all ready to go. Okay, so we're going to put them in the water now. We're going to let these cook. Woo, that's a little smoky, for about 30 seconds. And we'll come back, take them out, and we'll peel them. I don't have my cameraman here, so I'm doing this one-handed. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, so I've taken them out of the boiling water, put them in the cold water. Sometimes they start peeling as they're boiling. And this one here, a little on the mushy side, it probably took a little too long. You really only need about 30 seconds. Here's a nice one. You can see here, peels right off, nice and easy. So we'll do this to every single tomato. Get off there. There we go, nice. Okay, so we'll be back. We'll keep doing this until we got them all done. And we'll go to the next step. Smells nice. Fresh tomato from the garden. This is going to be a really good sauce. Can't wait to make it. Okay, be back. Okay, we have finished peeling every one of these wonderful tomatoes. That is a glorious thing. You can smell the fresh, wonderful tomatoes. Okay, so now we're going to start cutting them up in quarters, and we're going to try to remove all the seeds, because if you keep the seeds in there, you're going to make your sauce bitter. And the main reason why I'm taking these tomatoes and peeling them and jarring them is I'm going to use them to make this pasta sauce. So there you have it. And first what we're going to do is take this and cut this out. I'm going to cut this in half. Again, the top here, bottom here. You don't want to cut it this way, you want to cut it this way. That exposes all the seed pockets. And then once you have it like this here, you take the teaspoon measure or half teaspoon measure, or tablespoon, depending on how big your tomato is. This looks like a teaspoon size here, so I can just go in here with my teaspoon and dig out the seeds. Like this. And that pretty much gets them all right there. This one here, this one here. And then we just cut that quarters. We'll put that in here, and then we'll go to all the other ones. Okay, see you later. Okay, so here are all the tomatoes deseeded. That took about 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half. Now they're ready to go through the processor. I'm probably going to put them in the fridge, and then tomorrow I will put them in the processor and start the process of jarring the tomatoes. Okay, here we are the next night. Last night I went through and I prepared these tomatoes. I took the skin off, I took all the seeds out, got it all chopped up and ready to go. Put it in the fridge so it could sit overnight, because there was a lot of work to do that, so I didn't want to do this part right after it. So it's easier to do the next day. I have a lot of water in this pot right here, because we're going to be boiling water and covering those jars with this water, and I need lots of water. So I put this on first because it takes a long time to boil all that water. I washed all these here. These are called mason jars. Very important part of jarring a sauce. And I'm probably not going to use all those, so I'll probably use 2. I'm thinking that right there will be 2 quarts, I'm not sure. Now these here are rubber gasket tops, okay? And you may want to have a little magnet handy, because you don't want to touch the rubber part. So you pick it up with the magnet, and you can put it right on top like that. That way you never touch the rubber thing. Okay, and these things here, this is the outside rim that's going to go on top of the rubber and seal it. Alright, we have a food processor here, which I'm going to use to chop up all these tomatoes into like a puree. I'm not really making a sauce, I'm just making a tomato puree. So when I'm ready to make my spaghetti sauce, I can grab my jar of fresh tomatoes that I have from the garden and use those to make the sauce. So I'll be back for the next step. Okay, I forgot to mention that you're going to need a big spaghetti pot here, because after we grind down these tomatoes into a puree, we're going to cook them in there, for a good half an hour or so until it gets nice and thick. We'll have to see how it goes. Okay, so we're going to take these tomatoes, we're going to scoop them, put them in this processor here. It's just basically a single blade down there, nothing fancy. If you don't have a processor, you can use a blender. Put them in there. Get them all ground up. I'm hoping that I'll get a nice flavor using the yellow and the red tomatoes together. Okay, start out slow, see how it goes. Okay, that's sliced up the puree pretty good. Look at this texture here. almost like, I'd say, an applesauce texture. You see that? Yeah. Almost liquid. So we'll start with this. We're going to start cooking this down in the sauce pot. Okay, so you can see what we have here so far with the one processor full of tomatoes, and we're going to keep doing this, okay, until all those are gone. Alright, we finished the whole bowl. We processed them all. That water is still trying to boil. We have an awful lot of nice tomato sauce here. Fresh tomatoes from the garden. Glorious. Alright, if you look, this is interesting. It has a, well, the camera's picking it up, but it does have a lighter red color, almost a pinkish color. It's because I'm using the yellow and the red tomatoes. So now we're going to cook this. We're going to get it bubbling a little bit, and then we're going to simmer it for a while until this gets thick. And then we're going to start pouring this into the jars, and we're going to start jarring the sauce. Now we're going to want to heat up these tops here. They want to soak them in hot water so those little rubber things get soft. Alright, it's going to help seal the jars. Okay, I'm cooking the tomatoes here for about half an hour. Got some boiling going on here. I'm going to go through here now. Stir these up real good. We're just trying to get the tomatoes thick before we put them in the jars. Not quite there yet. I think it's going to be 45 minutes of a slow boil. Another thing you're going to want to do is when this sauce is ready, we're going to pour the hot sauce into these jars. You want the jars to be warm, so we're going to go ahead and put these in this hot water right here. And let them get full and drop. Okay, this is going to sanitize them and get them warm. I'm going to go ahead and put 3 in there. This water's almost boiling. What I did was I pretty much got this whole pan to come to a boil, and it was ready before the sauces, and I turned it back down. It's got pretty hot water in there, getting those jars nice and hot and sanitized. And then when that is, I'll take those out shortly when this is ready. Okay, I have also been heating up some water here. Not quite boiling, just pretty hot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these tops here with the rubber on them and get them in here. I've got 2 there. Okay, so I'm going to put 3 in there. I'm guessing that might be 3 quarts. That's why I got 3 jars in there. 3 tops there. Sauce heating up. We're getting there. Okay, so now we're going to test the this has been cooking for 40 minutes. And we look here, it's still just a little watery. We want it a little thicker than that. Trying to get a good view of it there. If you look in the edges, you'll see a little bit of water on there. We want the water to cook down a little longer. Not yet, not ready yet. These we just took out of the hot water, so these are hot jars. If you look in here, that is the tomatoes that we cooked down for about 2 hours and 20 minutes. Almost 2.5 hours to get it kind of thick. And here we have warm jar top thingies with rubber on them. We go like this here. And what we'll do is we'll use that magnet right here to pick these up so we don't get our hands on them. Okay. Now, it's good to have one of these.
Is the magnet clean?
Yeah, that doesn't matter because it's going to be on the outside. You gotta have one of these funnel thingies, okay? So, put that there. It's still hot, okay? So we're gonna wanna keep any kind of hands away from the inside of the jar, like that. Now we're gonna go ahead and fill these up. I'm gonna do this here. Bring this closer.
Are we watching any more of this?
Yes, as long as we're done filming.
Filming. Okay, so we're gonna fill these up. Looks weird here. Hey Daniel, come here. I need your hands.
Is that all he is,
Okay,
hands?
lift this funnel up so it's not inside the. Yeah, lift it up. There you go. Like that. Yeah, like that. So you want to fill this up, but you want to leave about 1 inch on the top. Okay, now we have these filled up, ready to go. We're only using 2 of them. Really hot. We're gonna put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice right on top. And mix it in or anything, you just pour it right on top. Yeah. And over here. And then we'll take this here, we're going to go along the sides, and out, down, along the sides, back out, and then wipe off the threads, make sure there's nothing on the sides, same thing here. And we'll take this with the magnet. We don't want to touch that rubber part. And we'll put that right on there, like this. Make sure it's on there. Sealed. Too tight. Here. Right there. Like that. And we're gonna go ahead and tighten these up. Okay. Those are hand tightened. Okay, so I finished getting these jars ready with the tomatoes, and they're sitting in the water, waiting for the water to boil. When it boils, we'll cover it, and we will bring it down to a low boil for about 40 minutes. And right now the jars are not covered, so I'm making a little bit more hot water here. I want to pour that in here to get the water over the tops of these jars. Okay, now we got some good boiling going on here. Some good, nice, good rapid boil going. We've got about 30 minutes to go on this. We'll just keep it covered and let it keep going. Okay, so this has been boiling for 45 minutes now. I'm going to turn off the burner. And we're going to let this sit off the burner for another 10 minutes. I'm going to move it off the burner on here and have it sit for 10 minutes. And then we'll take those jars out. Alright, so this has been sitting for 10 minutes now, cooling down. I'm going to take this thing here and over this. Alright, now we'll let those sit till tomorrow morning, and then we'll put them on the shelf. And we'll use them to make sauce. I don't know when. Next week, a couple weeks. And I'll make sure that maybe that. Alright, see you later.